The speakers at the panel that follows will give us detailed information on the higher education programs for international students offered by public and private universities in Greece. The moderator of the panel is John Papaspanos, who is the director of Youth Innovators within the Hellenic-American Chamber of Commerce. John is also a project finance attorney at Baker Botts. I want to thank personally John Papaspanos also for his participation in putting this panel together and helping us organizing this the whole forum. Thank you, John. And the floor is yours.
Thank you, Eftihia. This is very exciting news, especially the remarks of Minister Sirigos are resounding because we actually received interest from a top public university professor who wants to establish a joint program with the Greek university as a direct result of this panel. And so thank you so much for all the speakers. But in brief, in ancient times, young people went to Greece to be educated in the best academies and to be cultivated in the Greek culture. Today, it is more compelling than ever to study in Greece. And not only disciplines of history, art, and archaeology, but also medicine, hospitality, shipping, technology, engineering, and many others. As the minister noted, Greek universities are top flight. They have produced heads of state, Nobel laureates, business executives, renowned doctors, and preeminent professors, many of whom came to the United States, like Albert Bourla of Pfizer, Konstantinos Daskalakis of MIT, and Dr. Yorgos Papanikolaou of Cornell. And apart from a quality education, a student in Greece will have a life-changing immersion experience. We just heard the panels on tourism and the highlights of visiting Greece all year round. But as a student, you'll have the same opportunity to experience the 250 sunny days per year, the Greek cuisine, the unparalleled social life, and the beaches. And compared to the US, you'll be paying a fraction of the typical housing and tuition costs. Today's panel will discuss educational and cultural opportunities in Greece. We're joined by representatives of private and public Greek universities and a US-based nonprofit organization that promotes Hellenic culture. It is worth mentioning there are many other prominent study abroad programs that we will not cover today, like the Pedia Institute for Humanistic Study, which focuses on language and literature, and with whom we collaborate regularly. We'd like to extend a special thank you to its president, Jason Petticone, for all his support. Also, there is the Fulbright Foundation of Greece, led by Artemis Zenitou, which collaborates with the Greek universities and provides opportunities for American students and scholars to study or conduct research in Greece, of which I'm an alumnus. And with that, let us begin with the panel discussion. Our first panelist is Professor Dr. Christos Michalakelis, who is an associate professor in the Department of Informatics and Telematics at the Harokopio University of Athens, Greece. He's also the president of Study in Greece, which is the national agency of Greece that supports Greek public universities. Welcome, Professor. I think we can begin the professor's segment with a very short video, if we can play that.
Welcome to Athens, Greece. Let's talk about Greek contemporary higher education. Offering a wide variety of international programs in diverse disciplines, Greek universities are investing in internationalization. As an international student in Greece, you experience the perfect combination of leisure and study. Whether you're going to the beach or visiting an ancient archaeological site, Greece is the place to be.
Okay. Professor, the floor is yours to provide some remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm very honored and happy to be with you today. And I will be very happy and excited to tell you about the opportunities to study in a Greek university in English language, open for international students. Now, if I may, I can share my screen to present you a short presentation about what is going on in Greece now. I hope everybody can see my screen. Okay. Well, here we are again. So let me shortly introduce you to the Greek academic landscape. Greece has 24 state universities located in all regions of Greece. They are all accredited by the European Union, achieving high scores in international rankings. As you can see, they're spread across the whole territory of Greece. The international opportunities in Greece, according to the new legislation, as Mr. Sirigos mentioned before, offers the opportunities to the Greek universities to offer international studies for students, including bachelor's, master's, PhDs, joint or double degrees between Greek and international universities, internships, study abroad programs. Actually, the lady you saw before in the short video was part of an internship from a US university. Summer or winter schools, short-term programs such as semester abroad, exchanges of faculty, researchers, and students, and faculty-led courses from either Greece or international universities. During the starting from last year and within the new academic year of 23-24, we expect more than 300 international programs to start, which consist of 18 undergraduate programs, bachelors, in all, not only in classics, but also in medical studies, maritime studies, business, economics, informatics, computer science, and any other kind. And more than the number, we already have a number of 120 English taught masters. This number is expected to grow to a number of 200 by next year, and a number of joint international PhD programs. As you already know by Professor Mr. Sirigos, we have two successfully operating programs in medicine from Aristotle University of Thessaloniki and National Kapodistrian University of Athens. The medical degree from Aristotle University was the first in medical studies, and let me tell you an example that for a number of 60 places, we had more than 1,200 applications across 40 countries of the globe. And the Bachelor in Archaeology, History, and Literature in Ancient Greece. The Masters, now regarding the Masters, we have many broad range of topics such as engineering, computer science, Mediterranean nutrition, filmmaking, and some topics that are specific for Greece, such as economic crisis, dealing with economic crisis and immigration and refugees. What can international students enjoy in Greece? A number of choices regarding the curriculum, experiences, living styles, multiculturalism and inclusivity, and real-world experience, actually. And as Greece is an entrance to the European Union, they can enjoy country hop travels in Europe and a student life to remember forever, actually. If everybody who has studied in Greece can say that. Now, regarding the study in Greece itself, which I am honored to be the president, is the National Agency of Greece aiming to support internationalization and extroversion of the Greek universities. It's like the EOT for tourism. The equivalent is studying Greece for higher education. Our mission is to establish Greece on the map as an international and educational destination, provide information for studying and living in Greece, promote, support, and implement educational programs, and connect the Greek and the international academic communities. As you see here, we are here to connect with the Greek universities. And how we do that? We participate in international education fairs. We develop a number of electronic platforms, since we are computer scientists, most of us, to support information interaction of the academic communities. We do road shows to universities and organizations abroad and other promotional events. events, and we support the organization of educational programs such as summer school study abroad programs, etc. The added value is the participation of the Greek students and faculty members to these programs, especially for the Greeks of the diaspora. We design and implement summer schools regarding heritage, Greek heritage programs. For example, this year we have deployed a program regarding democracy, the ancient perspectives and the modern challenges of democracy. It's the birthplace of democracy, Greece. An example of educational fairs, last year we went to Denver, Colorado to participate in NAFSA. This year we're going to Washington, D.C. for the same reason. Studying Europe fairs or educational fairs we host by ourselves. An example of the summer schools we design and implement, apart from the one I mentioned before. And we have a wide range of collaboration and of a network, and very wide network of collaboration with ministries, such as education and religious affairs, tourism, foreign affairs, culture, and sports. The Greek diplomatic missions abroad are very valuable partners, because without them we couldn't achieve so many things. The foreign embassies in Greece, and the idea is that we consider internationalization of higher education a wide country-level project. Now, this was my short presentation. I could go on for a long time because we're very excited with what we're doing, and I'm at your disposal for any questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Professor. I think we're going to defer to questions at the end for all the speakers to take on, but we really appreciate it. And that URL for the website is studyingreece.edu.gr for all those interested.
I will be around waiting.
Perfect. The next panelist is Dr. Loren J. Samons, who is the Chief Academic Advisor and the Executive Director of the Institute for Hellenic Culture and the Liberal Arts at the American College of Greece, which is the oldest US accredited college in all of Europe and the largest private college in Greece. Welcome, Dr. Samons.
Education can take you places. Discover your path to knowledge at the American College of Greece. In Athens, the place where learning began. We are the largest and oldest American college in Europe, offering US-modeled education and proudly educating global citizens while remaining as innovative as ever. Our extraordinary green campus on the slopes of Mount Dimopoulos in a peaceful Athens suburb serves as an international hub that brings together students from Greece and all over the world through transformative teaching, scholarship, and service.
Great. Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be here. And I want to thank the Hellenic-American Chamber of Commerce for allowing me to participate in this panel. The voice you heard in that video is the voice of our president, David Horner, who has a proper New England accent since he's from Massachusetts, whereas I come from a very different part of the United States and have a sort of Southern accent. I'm trying to correct that by spending as much time in Greece as I possibly can. That video gives you a good picture of what the American College of Greece is like from a sort of an overview. It's simply put, it's an American institution, an American accredited institution sitting in Agia Periskevy in eastern Athens on the slopes of Mount Dimopoulos. And it's accredited by the same board, the New England Council of Higher Education, that accredits the other New England schools that I've been associated which are Brown University and Boston University. And one of the things it means for students who come to us is that it's very easy for them to transfer their coursework back to the United States. It's a seamless process. It's just as if they had gone to school in the U.S. And we offer a broad range of fields of study in the humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, and business and communications. We also have a School of Fine and Performing Arts, the Francis Rich School, which is something we're particularly proud of at ACG. But I'd like to take just a couple of minutes and talk about a different side of our institution, and that is the inside. Because the way I got involved at the American College of Greece was bringing students from America to Greece. I was affiliated with a program at Boston University that was bringing students to Greece. I joined that program in 2014, and I started bringing my students in a faculty-led program to the American College of Greece every summer. And there I met other faculty from the US who were also bringing their students to Greece. And it was a very collaborative type of program. We still run these programs, of course, every year, where American faculty or faculty from other institutions come, and oftentimes they work with the faculty at the American College of Greece. For example, our students could take courses that were being offered on the DeRee ACG campus, as well as the courses that we were offering. I was teaching Greek history, for example, which is my field. But what I found out in those 5 or so years that I was bringing my students to Greece every summer was what it's like to be on the other side, that is, among the faculty and staff of an institution like the American College of Greece. And what I found was an amazing thing. Although this is an American institution, it has the benefits of Greece and the Greek people. And one of the things that means is that the faculty are extremely student-centered. Teaching is an extremely important part of the tradition of the American College of Greece, and as is research. But I think the student orientation, the teaching orientation of the faculty was something I found very refreshing when I became a part of that group during those summer trips. But even more remarkable to me was the administration, because I found in my, universities and colleges are bureaucracies just like any other institution. And the typical answer that I found when I asked a question at my home institution was usually, no, you can't do that. Whereas at the American College of Greece, when I asked an administrator, is it possible to do something? The answer I would get was, let's find out. And if we weren't able to do it at that point, it was, let's try to find a way to do that. So the interaction with the people providing these programs was simply eye-opening to me. But our student body is perhaps even more remarkable because it's such a composite group. Not only do we have thousands of students, of course, from Greece every year, but we have hundreds upon hundreds of students from other countries, especially the United States, but from all over. In fact, 70 countries send their students to the American College of Greece every year. Over 200 American universities have students studying at the American College of Greece every year. 25% of the top 100 universities have students at the American College of Greece. So the diversity of the student body is quite remarkable. You get the experience of Greece, but you get the experience of the world too, living in a very beautiful neighborhood in Eastern Athens, as I said. Someone mentioned something about cost a little while ago, and I'll just emphasize that the value proposition is quite remarkable. Our tuition is no more than 1/4 of what it costs of similar American liberal arts institutions. I would just say as well that one of the things I've found remarkable is what a platform education is for promoting tourism in Greece. We always said about our Boston University students that they became ambassadors for Greece when they returned. And I'm amazed at how true that was. They couldn't stop talking about what a wonderful experience they had in Greece. And the way, of course, the stay at the school was just one thing, because we were also taking them out for excursions. And at the American College of Greece, we send students, almost all our study abroad students will do some kind of excursions, so they see other parts of Greece, whether they go to Hydra or Delphi or somewhere else in Peloponnese. And another thing is that students will return to Greece. I remember getting a Christmas card from 2 of the students that came with me from Boston, the very Christmas that after they had been over the summer, a Christmas card saying, hey, guess what? We're back in Greece. They loved us so much they had to get back. And I think education and education programs play a great role for providing a platform for further exploration all over Greece. So I'll just close by saying that we often say that at the American College of Greece, we offer an American style education. And that's true, but I want to emphasize that an American style education means a liberal arts education. And the liberal arts were not created in the United States. They were created in Greece. It was Plato that promoted education in a broad range of disciplines, which he called the liberal arts, which is about the study for governing oneself and therefore the ability to govern others. That kind of broad education was created in Greece. America rediscovered it, and all we're doing is bringing it back home. So thanks for giving us this chance.
No, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, we can all find out more information about the American College of Greece at acg.edu. And I can personally attest that while I was a grad student in Philadelphia, I came across a few graduates of your school, and they transitioned seamlessly from the Greek private institution context to the U.S. undergrad programs. And then also they went on to do MBA and graduated at top accounting firms like Deloitte. So I've seen it firsthand that they can easily study in Greece and then come back and study and go on to work in the United States and become successful. So thank you for that. The next panelist is George Orfanakos, who is the executive director of the American School of Classical Studies in Athens, which is the oldest and the largest U.S. overseas research center. Welcome, George. We're going to play a quick video once again. If you're interested in mankind, if you're interested in society and how it should function, then you would do well to study the past.
There's certain moments in history where the human spirit bubbles up and goes.
Whether we're talking about democracy, art, philosophy, it doesn't really matter what the subject is. It begins in Greece.
We are the premier overseas research center studying Hellenism from prehistoric times to the present day.
We're a consortium of almost 200 leading academic institutions in the United States.
There's hardly a part of Greece that some American school project is not operated in.
Through advances in science, the school has suddenly been transformed.
We could now tell not only what a person had in his last meal, but where he lived.
All of that information can really be disseminated to new audiences.
Through exhibitions, scholarly presentations.
An extended program of outreach to the world community at large.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. I had a little some issues this morning with my laptop and the connection. But we appreciate the opportunity to speak this morning along with these other remarkable programs that we're having, that we're highlighting today. And as you can see from the film, the American School is indeed a serious overseas research center, the largest operating in Greece and the oldest. And we're very excited about to share the academic programs, because in reality, the academic program is the hallmark of this over 140-year-old institution. And we only have a few minutes to discuss them, so I quickly want to get into some of the offerings that are at the school. Now, unfortunately for this summer, many of the offerings have already passed the opportunity to apply, but there remain three. These are actually targeted to graduate students and postgraduate students. All three are run through the Malcolm Weiner Laboratory for Archaeological Science. We have, and you can still apply for these if you go to acsca.edu.gr and apply. The first one is an archaeological micromorphology course from May 22nd to the 26th. The second one is a full week-long field school on site formation, stratigraphy, and geoarchaeology in the Athenian Agora, running from June 3rd to June 10th. And the third one is an introduction to bioarchaeology, running September 4th to the 8th. The specifics of these programs you can find online as well. There are also summer sessions and 18-day summer seminars. Now, these are exciting, and they're open to graduate students, advanced undergraduates, even teachers in the those who teach K through 12 related fields,
and a PhD holder, any nationality. And there are multiple scholarships offered to help the tuition through the American school. And it's very exciting, the summer sessions, which is 6 weeks intensive introduction to Greece from antiquity through the modern period. The program provides the most extensive exposure of Greece to the ancient and modern for participants with interest in classics or related fields. The 18-day seminars, they cover a wide range. Past topics include Greek sculpture, myth on site, Greek religion, Greece by the water, finding the Spartans, locating ancient gender and sexuality. I mean, it's very exciting. And finally, one of the other programs, two other programs we have to offer. Next fall, you can look out if you're interested, and this is truly exciting. Undergraduate applications are welcome, priorities given to graduate students, but you can excavate in the center of Athens at the Athenian Agora. And there's an Agora excavation volunteer program, which enables you to do this. You apply, there's a process for application. It is truly a remarkable experience to, especially if you're Greek American and if you get accepted, to have the dirt of our ancestors under your fingernails and to actually see things that have been covered for centuries and to do that work. There's also the Univ Library Summer Session program in medieval Greek that will open, applications will open the fall of 2024. And finally, one of the hallmarks, as I said, of the school, these are summer programs, but in reality is the program, full year program for students in the classics that we have for that they can apply for. And also most recently, we have a new post-classical academic program sponsored by the Univ Library. And those cover fields like music and architecture, church relations, and then some open other fellowships. So it really is a center of advanced learning. And I encourage you to look at ascsa.edu.gr and apply. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk today.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us, George. What better place to study the classics in history, art, archaeology than the source itself? So I just want to give a quick shout out to your forthcoming annual gala on May 11th in New York City. So where you'll be honoring Professor Mark Mazur from Columbia University. For anyone interested in these types of studies, this is the best place to network and to show your support for this institution. And with that brings us to our last panelist. Art Dimopoulos was the executive director of the National Hellenic Society, which is a nonprofit organization that provides the Heritage Greece program, which is modeled after the Birthright Israel program. We have a short clip once again, but I just like to give the floor to Art. Welcome, Art.
How are you?
We've passed on all that we know. A 1,000 generations lived in each of you now. This is your time.
So hello, everybody. My name is Art Dimopoulos. I'm executive director of the NHS, the National Hellenic Society. We are a nonprofit organization tasked with the mission of preserving, celebrating, disseminating, and passing on Hellenic heritage in America. Think about what you just heard. 1,000 generations live in each of you. I mean, when you think about that, it just really sums up what we're about and what this program's about that we started 13 years ago with our friends, the American College of Greece. You heard from Jay about the school. And That's what our job is. Today, for the marriages that do happen in the Greek Orthodox Church, and many don't, but 90%, 85 to 90% are interfaith and intercultural. So if we're going to preserve Hellenic culture in America, you got to think outside the box. Our friends in the Jewish community have done an exceptional job, and we're very helpful in us creating our program in terms of information and knowledge. And that's what it's all about. Our members are who's who of Greek America, from CEOs and industrialists and you know, the whole sort of gamut. Dedicated. We love our parade. We love to get together, but we also are very serious about passing on Hellenic heritage. So we started with 10 students. We have hosted 600 Greek American and Greek Canadian college students. And the aim of our program, they do get a credit from ACG. And last year we started at Anatolia College up in Thessaloniki, the American College of Thessaloniki. Both are exceptional schools. And that program went so well that we're scaling and expanding there too. So this year we're aiming to send a minimum of 100 and hopefully more to Greece on 2 sessions. We've studied the program. It was in a treatise. So the empirical evidence about the program's success is for the long term. I sponsored my own daughter. I can tell you firsthand, her best friends on the planet are from this program. We're already on our 4th wedding that came out of this program. That makes a lot of yayas very happy. But more importantly, we create an indelible and unforgettable experience that shapes attitudes and is there for the long term. And you've all talked about, you know, what happens when the student comes back, you know, about how glowing they are and the goodwill. Well, what do you do with that? So by virtue of our membership, you know, most of them in business, we use a customer-centric approach. And we treat that student that comes back as a customer, and then when they're in the workforce as a customer. So we continue to commit to provide them with career advancing opportunities, from mentorships, internships, jobs. I'm a lawyer. I was a professor of law at Georgetown. I mentor personally several budding law students and lawyers too. So, you know, mentorship continues. We find them, even help them find jobs, and so it's exceptional. So that's in a nutshell what we're about and what the program's about. It's very important to do that, but for money, I'd like to send all the students, and hopefully both our friends at the American College of Greece and in Thessaloniki are now gearing up to build dorms and other facilities. And I've also been in touch with Professor Michalakelis about, you know, working with the public universities at some point. Wouldn't it be great if we could send 1,000, 2,000 students a year and have that problem as far as figuring out the logistics and how to do it well? But I think if we're to preserve heritage in America, this is a very, very important program in doing that. We're not, you know, we're not a Greek word. We're secular. We've had Greek American Jewish kids, you know, of other faiths. So they're able to do a lot of different things on their own. But you know, our job is to light that pilot flight and connect them with their heritage and Greek identity. And I'm going to share my screen if I can for 1 second and give you the program dates. We are now accepting program dates. We pay for everything except airfare. So they get a college credit, transportation, accommodation, meals, everything in Greece is on us. And those are the application dates coming up. And in Thessaloniki and in Athens, it's you can see it June 10th to the 25th, July 1st to the 16th. And it's a very simple process. You just, there's the ACG program. In Athens, it's very simple. And then let me go back, and there's the application. It's all online in Thessaloniki. So that's it. And I thank you for having me. I'm very excited about this type of program. And we sent 600. Let's send 600 more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Art. Amazing program. So with that, I think we can transition to the Q&A session now. I can direct a few questions to specific panelists, and then at the end, if we have time, we can have a round robin. So the first question is for Dr. Michalakelis. As you know, the Panellinas exam, this is for our viewers, the Panellinas exam is equivalent to the SAT in Greece, but that's not required for an international student to study in Greece. Can you please elaborate on the typical application process for an international student? And then thereafter, after they earn their degree, how can you get that degree recognized in the US? We know that it's recognized in Europe, but how do we transfer that recognition here to the stateside?
Well, regarding the both bachelor's and master's for international students, the application procedure is very simple. Normally, is somebody can do that by online, and the procedure includes evaluation of the papers of the candidate and an interview. And that's it. And as Studying Greece, we are developing a platform that all students can online apply for masters and bachelors across all programs. So it would be just one step, a single step procedure to apply and get accepted and informed. Now, regarding the recognition, as you said, since Greek universities are European universities, the recognition is the same for all. The same applies for all European universities, recognized across Europe and recognized in other countries as well, including the States. Now, there are some limitations, though, not for Greek only, but for all European universities regarding medical studies and law studies. But it's not a problem for a Greek problem, it's a United States problem, which applies for all European universities. Otherwise, it's the very same idea, and the context is the very same as for all European universities.
Great, thank you so much. The next question is for Dr. Samons. So in recent years, foreign direct investment from Microsoft, Meta, Pfizer, and other major companies are flowing into Greece. How is your university positioning itself to benefit from these positive developments?
Well, we've instituted several new centers of excellence and a research technology and innovation network as part of our ACG 150 strategic initiative, which marks the 150th anniversary of the school coming up in 2025. But those units are designed to specifically interface with certain areas of the economy, including the technology sector that you're talking about. So they're designed to bring the academic world together with the public and private sector. So we've got direct collaborations with companies like in the field you're describing that work through those centers in research projects, et cetera. And one of the great things about it is that our students get to involve themselves in those centers and in those research projects too. So we're keeping our eye on which direction the Greek economy is going, and we're desired to build it up ourselves. The whole ACG 150 initiative is designed to strengthen the Greek economy and play a direct role in economic development in Greece.
No, that's great. And this question is open to any of the speakers. So you mentioned the Greek ecosystem for startups and entrepreneurship. We all know that it's flourishing. For example, JP Morgan had that purchase of a stake in Viva Wallet for $800 million. What type of degrees or programs are you offering to focus on entrepreneurship, which the Greeks are pretty good at?
Well, I'll take that if nobody else wants it. We've got very strong entrepreneurship programs at the graduate level at the Alba Graduate Business School and the undergraduate level at DeRee. But one of the most exciting things that's happening is a collaboration with the Democritus Research Center in Athens. We've signed an MOU agreement with them, and we're going to be supporting startups and entrepreneurship through an ACG Innovation Hub, which will be located on the Democritus campus. So we're quite interested in expanding our footprint in this area.
Very nice.
If I may, John, too, I'm just delighted. You know, this administration under Prime Minister Mitsotakis is very progressive and advanced. And we started a program where we took American students, and a few of them, and put them into internships, working with THI, the Hellenic Initiative, and others, putting them actually according to their discipline. So in other words, you know, we had a couple of journalism students, we put them in the Katamedini newspaper. so on and so forth. But working with Alba too in placing them into actual companies in Greece or nonprofits for a couple of weeks. And we also took 10 students from Greece. Our program is a shared program with students from the American College of Greece and from Thessaloniki. So we took 10 students and brought them to the US and put them in US companies run by Greeks. So the more we see of that, the better I think it's going to be, for Greece. It's a win-win opportunity. We had some labor issues, and this administration just said, "What are you kidding me? We've got to support something good." So
that's great. That's excellent. Thank you so much for that response. And the next question is geared towards Mr. Orfanakos. So despite its name of the Classical Studies, the American School of Classical Studies, can you tell us a little bit about your offerings in terms of the more modern aspects of Greek culture? We know that you look at the ancient and the Byzantine, the medieval times, but tell us a little bit about the modern times that you focus on, and maybe mention what's the most interesting program of your school based on your experience.
Boy, you're going to get me in trouble. We love all our students equally. We love all our programs equally. I mean, and actually, it's very exciting. So yeah, you hear the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, which was established 140 years ago. But it's as someone said, it's a classic name, but it's not the correct name. We're technically not a school. We're not giving degrees out. We're not just classical studies. We're from prehistoric to present times. And we're not just located in Athens. In fact, we have two main excavation sites. One's in Athens and one's in Corinth. But we have affiliated sites in Synagasias. In our history, I believe the number was about 107 of those, virtually all throughout Greece. So it's much more than that. But we'll keep the name American School of Classical Studies at Athens. In terms of specific programs, though, yes, we have just recently instituted the Yanadios Library is one of the world is on our campus and part of our family. And with the institution of that library, it ushered in a whole new era of focusing on post-classical work. But we're really excited because the past few years we've had benefactors come up and offer academic programming for the Yanadios programs, and we're getting a tremendous response. And those are in things like architecture and music, and also now church relations and things like that. But I have to tell you, there's enthusiasm in the classical studies and the academic program when they go around and you look and see the fields of study when I sit with them. The Laboratory for Archaeological Science has amazing experiences where you're cleaning these bones that were discovered at Phaladon. So really, it honestly is very difficult for me to say which is best. The fact is, if you're serious about immersing yourself in the study and promotion preservation of Greece's past, this is really something that's a place you really want to come to. And at the end of the day as well, it's important to know that it wasn't Greek Americans that built it. It was Greeks by choice, not by birth. That's who did it. So it's pretty remarkable.
And if I may, George has been and the school there has been a great partner for us because we send the students to the Agora while they're in Athens and other places.
And the
digs. And just to answer your question, John, John Camp, was just retired just this year, was the director of the Agora excavations for 60 years. His best line is, "Nothing has changed, just the technology." And the students see that firsthand. And it's really the truth. Nothing has changed, just the technology.
They came to the Agora, but they also come to the main campus. So they see the Laboratory for Archaeological Science. They go into the archives. They go into the they see the exhibitions. It's really immersive. It's a wonderful place. Thank you.
George is probably the best Zebekiko teacher on the planet.
That's another program.
That's amazing. Thanks
we have
so much
an emergency, George.
Thanks so much for sharing. And the last question for the floor is, when Pfizer opened up its hub in Thessaloniki, they realized that 25% of the applicants were coming from outside of Greece. So can anyone speak about what's called the reverse brain drain? Everyone dreaded the brain drain over the years, but now there seems to be an inflow of Greek Americans or other people all over the world coming back to Greece, seeing an opportunity, understanding quality of life is unsurpassable. How is this affecting the Greek universities?
Well, if I may start with answering.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Professor.
Well, Greece is living a new era, reintroducing itself to the world. So toward this end, higher education universities are a pillar of this new era. So we are trying to, as already mentioned before, there are some certain programs for visiting professorships and job opportunities to attract scientists and Greeks that left some years ago due to the crisis to return back. So the legislation, the financial tools are targeting this option to help for brain gain, as we say. And in general, with the other gentlemen here, like Art, Jay, and George, we are all together to these efforts to reintroduce Greece to the world and help people push on the academic map, and not only to that, but also to the map of progress.
And I remember I used to be with Bill Gates's dad's law firm, and I worked with one of my colleagues. Did all the work for Microsoft from the early days, took them public, what have you. We had a seminar for 100 ship owners in Greece with Deloitte and Goldman and several other investment banks, and it was wonderful. And the fellow, Rick Dodd, the attorney, just said, my God, this is a marvelous place for Microsoft to have a call center. And remember the miracle in Ireland. But, what does a company need? They need broadband, they need this, they need that, they need access, they need all these things. And I think, we're seeing that from the government standpoint, a real, the Prime Minister himself worked at McKinsey. He gets it. So we're seeing a real change and shift and really making it conducive for U.S. businesses and other businesses to locate there. Everybody speaks English. It's wonderful. The cost of living is great. Employees are just through the roof, intelligent, dedicated, passionate about what they do. So I think the long-term vision, it's a win-win, and we're just happy to tag along and do what we can all together to make that happen. So I think we're going to see more, not a brain drain, but a brain gain. Yeah.
John,
Okay.
if I could just add to that one of the beautiful things about this reverse brain gain is that the number of scholars who are trying to come back to Greece now means that there's an incredibly rich field, opportunities for us to hire faculty. I mean, faculty are coming to us. We've brought faculty back from Denmark, the US, the UK, Australia. There's more wanting to come back than we can find a place for. The top-notch people who want to return to Greece. So it's a fantastic time to be someone hiring faculty.
Oh, absolutely. And please reach out to us if you're looking for postdoc candidates. We have a lot of folks. No, they ask me all the time. They said, like, for opportunities and stuff. It's very difficult sometimes in the top U.S. universities. So why not have them come back to Greece and for all the benefits? But thank you so much to all on the panel. It's been amazing. It's a transformational era, I think, for Greece and the educational space. Like the latest discussions at Davos, Greece is being painted as an economic success story, with the Prime Minister giving an interview with Fareed Zakaria. It's really a great time to be involved with these issues. And with that, thank you so much for joining us, contributing to the discussion. And now we can transition to the closing remarks given by Eftihia Pilarino Piper. Thank you so much, all.